Currently, the expression "young people are the future" is recurrent and even tried. But what if I tell you that today the majority of the world's population is under 30 years old? Climate change, poverty, inequality are day-to-day topics. Probably we hear them so much in the news that we don't even take the same attention. But have you had this feeling of wanting to do something and you don't know how to do it or how to start? Well, the truth is that I have. I remember when I got into high school that my main goal was finding out how I was going to change the world and what I was going to do to change it. So I started participating in the model of the United Nations, where I experienced the power of the youth voice. In fact, the United Nations has recognized the youth sector as major resource for human development, key agents for social change, economic growth, and technological innovation. Malala, a young girl from Pakistan who at first seemed to be forced to stop studying because wanting education, refused to give up her studies and refused to let other girls do it for the fact that they were women. So she raised her voice. Today is the youngest woman in the history to win the Nobel Peace Prize. After the model of the United Nations, I joined a social project whose main objective was reducing the dropouts, the school dropouts. So I saw with my own eyes that not everyone had the same opportunities. We wonder if the lack of participation, of youth participation, is due to apathy or just lack of opportunities. Well, I think it will be very unfair to say that the lack of youth participation is due to apathy. As Malala, many young people from low-income countries cannot fully participate in their society because they are not given the same opportunities as some of us. Around 155 million of young people in these countries cannot even read a full sentence. For girls, the barriers to participation are even higher, since 1 out of 3 girls are forced to marry before 18. After I joined the social project, I had to do a project in my school. It was presenting an initiative for the prohibition of plastic bags in the Congress. There, I got interested in the political participation of youth. And this led me to discover that less than 2% of the parliamentarians in the world are young. More than a project, it was for me a breakup. I realized that the voice of the youth population is more necessary than ever. Because if we are that important for our societies, for our development, why aren't we taking the decision-making positions? So, months later, I receive a call and they tell me that I have been elected as one of the 30 parliamentarians, young parliamentarians, that are chosen each year in the Congress. People were surprised to see a 17-year-old girl proposing an initiative that will put gender parity and a youth quota in all the decision-making positions in the government. In a world of digital opportunities and challenges, it is believed that the new generations are more complicated because they are 100% digital. But I don't think so. Several studies have shown that around 75% of the generation that is now in university or high school have a special commitment to environment or has joined some kind of social project as a volunteer. One example of this impact that social media has had in the society right now is the call Fridays for the Future, a movement led by Greta Thunberg, an 17-year-old girl activist that began to protest in front of the Swiss parliament. At first, the change was invisible until young people from all over the world joined her. Today, 1.6 million of strikers of more than 155 places protest every Friday for a better climate change legislation. Now, Greta has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. The impact of young people nowadays is necessary because young people is not the future, it's the day-to-day that builds it. This led me to conclude that little actions in the right places and a million of young people doing it simultaneously are the real change in the world. So, young people are not the future as is commonly thought. Young people is the present that is taking charge of building the best future for the generation here present and those that come. For you, for your children, for your grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren, and those generations that follow you. Maybe I didn't become an international activist like Malala and Greta, but one thing I can assure you is that we all, young people, are working for a better world, or at least the little piece that touches us. No matter the age or the experience, you can always be part of the solution. Thank you.